again, it's on.
Ladies and those of you that can call yourself gentlemen, very few and far. Okay, welcome back to Opinionation. Yes, we're back once again. Another week, another topic, and a new panelist. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome someone that goes by Lord Young, but rather has you call them Elliot. Welcome, Elliot, to the show, y'all.
What's that?
Yeah, man.
Make the cheering clapping sound.
Yeah, we'll edit that in. We'll edit that in. Kendo Mickens, good to see you. What's up, bro?
What's
Now,
going on, family?
You left out the other important part.
Uh-oh.
From Memphis.
He represents. Oh, now let's go. This cat represents.
901, baby.
From
901.
Memphis, Tennessee, ladies and gentlemen, the
That's right.
juking capital of the world, Elliot.
Memphis made, baby, no doubt.
Bong bong. We represent around here. You know, we got a couple of Philadelphians around here, so okay. And Memphis is the shit. Now I've been to Memphis a couple times. Okay.
A word. Okay, cool.
Yes, sir. Hassan McCullough in the building.
From LA.
Showing
From
armpit.
LA. I'm from LA. That's all y'all need to know. I'm from LA.
You from Pasadena, brother? Pasadena's the shit. But Pasadena's the shit, though. I love Pasadena.
Pasadena.
I spent a whole lot of summers in Pasadena.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of summers in Pasadena.
Pasadena launched most of the great things that I've done. I promise you.
I'm not worried about that. I love Pasadena.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Well, you from LA? Okay, cool. Kenny, man,
right.
How was your week, bro?
You guys.
It's the same, man. It's you see a lot what's going on. You hope and pray and wish.
What do you wish? Kenny, what's going on and what are you wishing for? World War 17 is about to start. What are you praying for?
Damn.
That World War 17 doesn't start.
It's already started, though. You know, that's the sad part.
It ain't a week that go by that some skirmish some fight isn't happening. It's
ratcheting up.
It is.
Like, what are we doing? Elliot, do you got an idea about when World War 19 will actually begin, or are we already in it?
A lot of strange shit happening, man. A lot of strange stuff, bro. That's what's on the news. You know, when I'm at work, you know, that's the only thing that they're showing on the news.
Getting the populace ready. Hassan.
Yes, sir.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Are you crazy?
No, I'm very crazy. Not crazy. What you mean?
I mean, if I really do we have to pick a side?
I'm just wondering, what do you think about this whole scenario? Okay, because you see what's happening here.
I think somebody's trying to bully somebody. You know.
Well, let's get specific. Let's get specific and argue.
Oh man, the Khazarian nation, the Khazarians are trying to punk the Palestinians, and trying to take away the so-called indigenous people's land.
It's interesting about what's happened in the last 48 hours with what's going on over in a place called Israel.
Oh.
You know, your name's Elliot, and the short for Elliot is El. You know, El was God in ancient times, thousands of years ago. That word meant God, El. So Israel, you know, to me has always been a question, Elliot. You say, what are you talking about, Don? What are you talking about, Don? Well, Israel, like it's Israel, right? It's Israel, right? But right. That word, I'm asking Elliot real quick, Hassan, because that word to me is a question. You know, as a thinker, whenever I've heard that word, I've broken it down phonetically. Now you say, well, what are you talking about? Is Ra El. Is Ra El. That's a question. If you know what Ra is, Elliot, and if you know what El is, Elliot, you know that is Ra, El is a question. Well, what's the question? Well, what's the answer? Well, Ra is what, El? Do you know what Ra is? You know where Ra comes from?
Educate me.
Well,
I do not.
Ra is a term that ancient Cometians and others use for the sun, Ra or Re, Ra, Sun Ra. You've heard of Sun Ra. Yeah, Ra is always, you may have even heard of Amen Ra. That's the actual word, the full word of Amen. It's not Amen, it's Amen Ra. They took the Ra off.
Ra.
Like they changed some other things around too. But the point is,
Power of the sun.
yeah, yes, sir, Hassan. The point is Ra El. So what is El again? El was the name that they called God because El is short for what? Electricity, which is everywhere, Elliot. Yeah. So the question I've always seen in that word is because if you know what you're looking at, you know what time it is. Like Israel, that means is the sun God. Israel is the sun, Ra. The sun is Ra. And El means God. These are facts. Everybody can look it up. I'm not making this up. This isn't something I made up in my dreams. This is ancient information. So Israel. Well, I say, Elliot and Kenny, because I know Kenny over there like seething. Like, what are they? Kenny, I say that I am getting to the point right now. I say that El is Ra and Ra is El. God is the Son and the Son is God. So we're dealing with a principality that's using spiritual components and modern warfare to push. What's the spiritual component? Well, the spiritual component is if you're any kind of Christian or anything related to Christianity or Judaism, you're going to have a vested interest in the whole Jerusalem thing from a spiritual level. And then, if you're a capitalist and you own a bullet factory, you're going to have a vested interest based on commerce. Oh, a new war, great, let's go. So this thing is being created in a place that they've created, a name they created called the Middle East. There's no Middle East. What?
Correct.
But this thing has been created and is being perpetuated through their media. If you notice, there's not a lot of, in the last 48 hours, I've been kind of peeping it out. There's not a lot of Palestinians getting their kind of testimonies out. It's just very Israeli or Western or United States or UK. It ain't a lot of like what the Palestinians are saying, what's going on in Gaza. I ain't heard a lot of that. I've heard a lot of, we gotta flatten them. I heard one of the senators say something outrageous. I'm listening.
Doesn't it make you scratch your head?
That's the prime minister, man. He said that shit.
But doesn't that make you scratch your head? You're making a valid point. It makes you scratch your head with this fact that social media is abundant. And so even the people that may be in Palestine, if they're not reporting the information, so if all the information is coming out of Israel and not Palestine, then it's one-sided. So to your point, very interesting.
It's very interesting, Kenny.
Well, what happens is, like you said, a lot of people have a vested interest, spiritual interest. So they're backing Israel. So the news you're going to hear is that Hamas attacked a certain amount of people. And now they just once it seems like to me that Israel has been the bully for a very long time, and that the world continues to back their play against the Palestinians. So it's just something happens and they go round and round. Like,
Kenny, I was not expecting you to say that at all.
Well, you got to say it the way you see it. The reality
I'm literally dumbfounded right now. I was not expecting you to say what you just said at all.
Well, what else would it be, Dom? I mean, you see it. You see the slanted media coverage. You see what you see is a lot of times, sometimes you have wicked people doing things that, that ain't right. It still ain't right. Is when you continue to bully and overlord on a person, then you see the Palestinians try, you know, whatever by guerrilla warfare that they try to come with, because they're generally outgunned and outmanned and outmatched. So then it just continually keeps going around and round. So
No, I didn't know this. I found this out in the last like 24 hours or so. But Gaza is I didn't know this for some. I mean, I know where it is on the map and everything, and I've seen Gaza is 100 miles long. That's wild. I didn't know
Yes.
that. I thought it was like more like the size of Camden or something. Gaza is like a state, a proper state. And so, but the point I'm trying to make also, excuse me, it's fenced in. It's an
Yes.
open air prison. Did you hear
Yes.
what I said? Like they got this
Yes.
100-mile area fenced in. Those folks can't leave, bro. They've cut the water and the electricity to 2 million people.
But
Like
then
what?
you got,
Like what?
but that's kind of crazy, because then if you know that, then you got Jewish people like, we're for Israel. And what
That's
does
the
that?
spiritual component I was talking about. Like that's what I'm saying, Elliot. When you have folk that are either Christian or folk that are Jewish, you understand me? That area, you can even include the Hebrew Israelites in this. That area of the world is sacred to them, and so
Yep.
anything popping over there
Yep.
kind of aligns with their dogma of religion. So they're kind of vested into that actually happening, even the whatever kind of destruction, because they feel like that's going to bring on something. What say you?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
I'm thinking, I can't really help out with the conversation because that's not my wheelhouse right there. I'm a common sense type of guy. So if I can hear information, I can make sense out of the information. But that's nothing I've studied. I understand, the warfare regarding the Palestinians think, they feel like this is their rightful land, and the Israel state that was created took a lot of the land from them, and it's a continuous war conflict back and forth. But it's so deep that I can't say.
We can make it simple, L.
Elliot, I feel the exact same way. I don't feel like this is my wheelhouse, and like even with Dom saying that the Gaza Strip was like 100 miles long. I didn't even realize that. I
didn't either until recently. I didn't either.
But what it is you can see, or you hear about it, and you see the circle that it keeps taking, where one attacks the other, and there's just going to be, when does it stop?
What happened in 47 and 48, Elliot, Kenny? You see, because when we talk about,
I believe Israel came, or
didn't they create the state?
They created the state of Jerusalem, of Israel, at that point. And so what I'm saying, El, you're sitting in a nice situation with a nice painting behind you. What if somebody came in there right now, was like, nigga, get the fuck up out of here. Give me this painting with this monkey. You understand me? Get up out of here. Get out. As a matter of fact, don't even stay in the neighborhood. Get out. And then made a state out of that and stayed there.
And then they got the support of the powers to be.
Then they got the support of the United States military.
I would never forget about that. And that's the information you'll pass on generational to what happened to your forefathers, that they're not, the younger generations, they're not going to forget about it, because they look at it like the situation that we live in stems from decades ago, and this is what happened to your forefathers.
This is what happened. That's just like me saying I'm brown in a place called the United States of America. Holla at your boy with about $1 trillion. You understand me? because something similar happened to people that look just like me. You understand me? And guess what, Elliot? Guess what, Hassan? Kenny?
Yes, sir.
It's the same regime. Tell me when I'm lying.
It's the same energy. If you don't realize it, it's the same thing that happened to us. The same energy.
It's the same energy,
Taking our
and it's the
land.
same. And it's the same faction.
Same.
What you mean? It's the
Yeah,
same faction. I mean, you can tell me when I'm lying. If I'm lying, just say so. Correct me, please.
Have you played the game of Risk?
Every day of my life. You mean the
board
real game? Oh no, I've never played the board game. I've only
Different game.
I've only lived it. Go ahead though. What about it?
World domination. It's strategic strategies.
Mm.
So it's really a game of life in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You strategically place pieces in particular areas, and
I'm gonna say my favorite word. That's not true.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
Well, first of all, you didn't even let Elliot finish his definition.
No, well, he was talking about how life is supposed to be, and based on the Caucasian caucus.
I didn't say none of that.
But
He didn't even let you finish.
That's not how life is supposed to be. As far as
I just said the
game divide and conquer in the game of life, it's not supposed to be like that, because that's not the energy of the indigenous people. They didn't have that. They didn't have you buying stuff, and they would give you stuff for free and land for free. Where the Caucasians trying to conquer everything. But haven't since the beginning of mankind always had warfare? No, that's what they led you to believe. That's not necessarily true.
Why have you had spears and arrows?
Yeah, son. There's warfare on the walls in Kemet.
Yeah, that you were led to believe all that stuff.
No,
stuff was different. No, it's not true. I'm being honest, it's not true. There's other stuff, Black Root Science, where talk about things was peaceful. It wasn't all this stuff. It's the Caucasians that brought all the wars and stuff. Because of their divisiveness. They're polar opposite of us.
Check this out, man. A couple things can be true at the same time. Number one, I can say that melanated people, for the most part in my life, 53 years, they felt calm and cool. And then I can say that a lot of Europeans have felt nervous around me. 53 years worth of information here, 53 years worth of data. So, it just is what it is. So I will say that there's different energies, but I've also encountered calm Caucasians. You understand me? And I've encountered ratchet blacks. You understand me? So I get what you're saying, Hassan, but listen, man, at the end of the day, those folks have come with a certain energy. That's facts. I'm not gonna sit up here and deny that. The European has come with a certain energy in the past 500 years. And let me just say it correctly. The European has been murderous in the past 500 years. I'm not going to play with it. There's nothing to play with.
And the world is doing cleansing right now based on their energy. That's why you got all this shit happening, because the world is doing cleansing of the stuff.
It has to be matter of fact, man. Like when you're talking about states going against other states, well, number one, that's not real war, Elliot. Real war, Elliot, is if I got beef with you and I come to Memphis. You understand me? That's real war. War is not me hiring Kenny and Hassan, in a corporate way with uniforms to go and kill civilians and to blow up buildings.
Mm-hmm.
That's corporate war. That's not real war. Real war is personal.
Yeah.
So we're witnessing an orchestration once. Again, Kenny, if you can recall, there's not a war in our life. There's been a war all of our lives, Kenny.
There's been a war all of our lives, all of our grandmothers' lives, and going beyond that. I keep telling you, we are very uncivilized as a people. The whole world.
Speak on it.
You get people who, for different reasons. I mean, it could be as basic as I want your land. It could be as big as
it's all about resources. Everything's about resources.
It is, but at the same time, we're not lacking in
We're
resources.
not lacking, though. That's the problem, Elliot. We're not
People,
lacking.
people,
But
You-
there's greed tied to resources. There's greed.
that's
There
just
it
it.
is.
Is
There it
someone
is.
saying, is someone saying, instead of them saying, hey, maybe I can trade it, like at one point we lived on a trade and barter system, but someone says, I don't want to trade and I don't want to barter.
But that's
I
not
want it all.
capitalism. You can't
I
have
want
a
more.
capitalistic society with
You
trade
know,
and bartering.
you had societies where Native Americans maybe said, okay, I need 1-2 buffaloes to get me through this winter. And then someone comes along and says, hey, listen, I want to store that buffalo meat in my fridge, so I need more of it. I need to hold it, and I don't just want a pelt to wear.
I want a couple pelts.
Be warm. I want 4 of them in my closet. So
Just chilling.
that
Chinchilla.
resource, exactly. So now you start wanting more, and you put a value to something.
But
You know,
that's the greed part. That's the
Well,
greedy.
let me ask you a question, Elliot. What do you think fits humanity better? Capitalism or a barter system? Now, we know in history that there's been barter systems for thousands of years, and we know that we've been on somewhat of a capitalistic system for about 500, 400 years. What do you think works better for the human being?
Barter, exchanging goods.
Exchanging goods and services, huh?
Mhm.
You got something I need, I got something you need, and that's the whole transaction.
Mhm. You know, you look at that the last civilization that was just discovered in the 90s in the middle of the Indian Ocean. What they say for 60,000 years it maintained a system untouched, and it just flowed, ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It was not a capitalistic society. It was
Yeah.
a bartering system.
We're watching a capitalistic
It's all
play
about,
play
it's all
on
about
Gaza.
acquiring more resources, because you got to have you have to generate as much resources. It becomes greed. I have to have more resources.
Well, this is the point I'm making. See, this whole Gaza thing, it's all connected to capitalism. Like the Ukraine, and this is connected to capitalism, right? Capitalism, I must capitalize on you, Elliot. You know, for me to be in the black, I need you to be either under me or in the red.
100%.
And so that pits me against you automatically,
100%.
even if I'm your friend.
100%.
You know, we can have a beer about it later. Oh, I won. I beat you. I got more money than you. It pits man against man.
100%.
It doesn't pit man against man, but yes, it pits man against man, 100%.
Because you feel you need more. You because you feel like,
but
if you get the last, then somebody else will. So you're fighting for the last.
Those men aren't even the people that create the law, so it shouldn't be against those men. But we are tricked to be against the other man. But it should be against someone else.
That's exactly what it is, Hassan. The trick of it is you get someone who says, hey, they coming to get you. They coming to do this. So you better go ahead and stock up before I say that, for 50 plus years, the United States built missiles and Russia built missiles because they kept telling each other, or the governments kept telling their people, we got to do this because they're coming and it's going to happen. So you built missiles that would blow up the world sometimes over. And all it was is someone getting paid to build those missiles.
Yeah.
Some of them getting paid.
Yeah. Somebody, Lockheed Martin, got paid during that whole era.
So somebody's greed out there keep telling you there's a boogeyman.
Created a whole narrative. Come on, Kenny.
But they create a boogeyman And the boogeyman changed. The boogeyman was Russia.
Yeah.
Then it was the Middle East, so-called Middle Easterners or
Yeah.
terrorists,
Yeah. Terrorists.
war on terror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the boogeyman was the virus. But guess who the boogeyman by default always is in these folks' eyes? Hi, y'all.
The niggas.
Hi.
Well, again, it's always going to be a boogeyman. I mean, then the at least here, the boogeyman became, oh, these people want to defund your police and they want to come in and take your house. And then there's that small grain of thought in the back of the European mind that, oh, you're gonna come for some get back.
You know, something
So
just
all that
dawned on
I've
me,
done,
Kenny.
huh?
Go ahead. Well, something just dawned on me, not to cut your wisdom, but we were talking about BRICS a few weeks ago, right? The new currency. What's that new currency again? It's Brazil, Russia. The I is Iran.
India.
The I is Iran. India.
India.
So C. What's the C?
China.
And South Africa, right? Look at who is on the other side of that, and look who's warring right now. You see, this Jerusalem, this Gaza thing, I promise you, is connected to that BRICS. They were even talking reckless about Iran, like, yo, is Iran involved? Did Iran set them up for it? Iran, first of all, it's like you just naming people, you just putting countries' names out there to start something, right? But here's the thing, those are all countries that are with the BRICS. This is all shaping up to be about that money. You understand me? Like, all these countries that they're fighting against right now are down with the BRICS. China.
Well, a lot of times it comes down to that. I mean, I was listening to a news station, and they were talking about how Iran put Hamas up or funded this attack.
And you said Hamas. Did you really just say Hamas? Don't do that. Call the terrorist organization what they are. First of all, I don't even know if they're Hamas. I don't even know if they're terrorists or whatever. I don't know them. I don't know them.
Well, what I'm saying is, like you said, people are trying to drag Iran into it,
right?
Because there's that oil that we still need to get up out of there. So there's people have agendas, and you can see the agendas. And once the agenda gets, you know what it is.
I think that'll be the name of this show.
Well, I mean, you can call it what you want, but I think, like you said, people have agendas and they push them, and all you have to do, you get certain news outlets that's friendly to what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
And they start to push your thoughts, and then people see, so when you go and do something atrocious, you're like, you feel justified, and that's all that is.
Well, what does the end game look like, Hassan? Like what does the end game look like? What are we doing? Are we really about to go to a next world war? What is this? What are we doing?
What do you think? You didn't see Russia when he said that they gonna get involved in it too?
What?
Russia said they're gonna get involved and send some troops too.
Send some troops where?
You didn't see that part? Okay. To
Gaza?
To the Gaza.
Nah, that can't be real. Troops. That can't be real.
Shit.
That you heard somebody from Russia say that Russia's sending troops to Gaza?
They put it
out of there. Didn't have enough with Afghanistan.
What'd you say, Kenny?
Russia's with Ukraine right now, man.
Right, exactly. They're already tied up. That wouldn't seem likely that they would.
Didn't Russia have enough with Afghanistan?
How's about that?
When you have people with beliefs, you're not going to ever win that. Even though you might be bigger or badder, how are you going to beat someone's belief out of them?
You can't.
When they have
no, Kenny, listen, Kenny.
I don't understand why you guys think that this war stuff is actually even real. You can't even talk about it as real. It's fake. It's propaganda.
Well, I'm not going to say it's fake. I'm going to say it's manufactured. I'm not going to say it's fake. It's manufactured.
Or manufactured. but someone's suffering for real.
Well, that's the point. It's It's not fake because somebody's
people are
suffering.
suffering. The people are suffering. The citizens that they don't give a shit about are suffering.
Yeah,
Nobody else is suffering but them.
Exactly.
but it's
Never seen that.
manufactured. It is manufactured. It ain't fake. It's manufactured, meaning it's not an organic war. Like, yeah, there's issues, but you can't tell me. And I'll be honest with you, man. I almost, the crazy part of me, the writer part of me feels like this is false flag area. Like, so I almost feel like, Israel supposedly got attacked. I almost feel like it's like a 9/11 scenario. Oh my God, did I say that? Oh my goodness. No one's gonna like you. Did I say that? What do you mean a 9/11 scenario? Well, everybody that understands. And I almost feel like it might be that kind of scenario, like hit yourself and point at somebody else kind of thing. I could be wrong,
Right.
but I could be right.
Well,
That's the first thing I thought.
It's a game. It's a game of world domination that some people are playing, some countries and some governments are playing.
Hardcore.
And the capital is, whether it be oil, more land, more gold, more this.
Market share of human beings.
And that also. So you constantly wonder, like, it's not going to end. Like this situation, it'll die down. Some other countries will get attacked or whatever, but it'll still keep going on. The circle will still keep going on.
Elliot, do you have a way to heal the world?
No, that's when you collide cultures, man. The effects of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just everything's trying to be diverse, and you're bringing amongst diversity, which is, that's a question to think about. Is it healthy for the universe? Is it healthy for the world? Because you have different beliefs, like you just stated. You can't beat beliefs out of individuals. So if I believe this and this person believes that, and you're bringing us together, there's going to be conflict and issues. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, to that point, there's a senator. I watched this yesterday. I don't watch a whole lot, but I just saw this because I've been kind of like just trying to understand what's happening over there. There's a senator, a European cat. Oh man, I wish I could remember his name. Old European senator. I can't, but it was on like CNN yesterday.
That's like all of them.
Yeah, no doubt. This dude was like, yo, we need to decimate Gaza. He was like, yo, their belief system is against ours. He started talking like some Christian stuff. Like, this is a senator, but he was talking on CNN, and he was talking like his allegiance to Jerusalem and the Jews. And see, that's what I mean. Like, here's the thing, Elliot. I'm not a religious cat. I'm one to think. I'm one to study until I know. I don't believe anything. I study until I know. And the whole thing is, like, when you have multitudes, millions of people that are believers, you can get mired in some fuckery. And I mean that. What I mean by that is when you have people that are willing to take the word of someone else without doing the research themselves, right? Because that's how you believe. You believe by not doing the research. You believe by taking the word of someone else, whether that's from a book that you didn't write, or whether that's from pastor or the rabbi or whomever. That's from not doing the godly work yourself. You become a believer. You're not a believer when you're God. There's nothing to believe in. You understand me? You do the work. You're accountable. And so when you have millions of believers, we're going to have issues.
Is it now? You have to be right with a certain level of belief. You got to have some belief in something. But like you stated,
convince me.
Convince
me what I should believe.
Your parents. You believe that they're your parents.
What do you mean I believe?
You don't believe.
They are the people that raised me. They are the people that raised me.
No, you can't believe.
I know that they raised me because my mother's still in my life. I know she raised me. I don't believe that.
But how about you've all of a sudden found out that they weren't your biological parents?
The point I'm making to you is they raised me. So when you talk about parents, you said parents. You didn't say biological parents. Let's be specific.
Okay, biological parents. So if you grew up being raised and the assumption was these are my parents, and you find out that they're not your parents.
Yeah.
A whole life believing that these are my biological parents until it was presented to you.
Well, let me tell you how I would
you
take
have to
that
have
now.
you have to have a sense of belief in order to exist.
Let me address that. Let me address that.
Well, hold on,
You-
Dom. Let me.
But
jump in
no.
before you-
Let me specifically address what he just asked me, and then you go, Ken. But let me address what he just asked me. So, what would happen is I know that those people, biological or not, raised me. When you talk about parenting, you can parent someone and not be their biological parent. So I'll tell you right now, I don't have empirical evidence that my mother and father had sex 9 months before I got here, but those are the people that raised me, and that's what I would go on. I wouldn't even try to argue with you.
What do you mean go on? Are you believe? But you.
I wouldn't even argue with you that I know that they're my biological parents. I wouldn't even argue with you because I don't argue about things that I can't prove. You understand me? I wasn't there, but I can prove that they raised me, and that's the important part.
Raising, and you believe that they're your parents, raising or not. You
Well,
believe
those are your words, bro. Those are your words. Those are your words. I'm telling you my words, and you're taking my words and turning them into your words. I'm telling you that I know they raised me, and that's all I need to deal with. I don't need to know that they're necessarily the people that created my DNA or spliced my DNA together. That's not that big of a deal to me. Who gave me my moral compass?
Everybody yearns to know who their true biological parents are.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with belief, bro. You're mixing. You're changing the goalposts now.
On one thing,
you're changing the goalposts a little bit.
Well, hold on. Well, let me say it like this. When and the kind of I think kind of go along with what Elliot is saying. I think when you have beliefs or thoughts, it's not a problem.
Correct.
The problem becomes when I'm trying to make you believe or do what I do.
Right.
You're not respecting the fact that I can respect the fact that you have a different idea.
That was just happening just now. That was just happening just now. Elliot was trying to get me to change my dogma and my language to fit in his box. And I'm telling Elliot, no, that ain't what's happening here, bro.
But
I don't know that my parents, hey, one at a time, guys, one at a time. Hold on. I don't know that my parents created me, but I know that they raised me, and that's the important part to me. That's what I'm telling you. And I don't need to believe that. I don't need to believe that. I know they raised me.
Well, hold on. And I don't want to get stuck on just that one part. What I'm saying is when you look at it as a whole, you're talking about different parts of the world, different people, even with this situation, when you're saying who raised me or who birthed me, to you, that might not be important. To the next person, that might be
Elliot, that's important. Right. That's not important to me. Right.
But the respect of it comes in where you say, okay, you like to say, I don't believe, I study until I know.
That's is what it is. Go with. That is what it is. I also like to say that, but that's a whole nother story.
Believe.
In the word belief, there's a doubt. That belief means belie. That's what it means. There's no such thing as belief, because that means you belie. It's all negative.
Nothing that you can believe you can produce. There's nothing that you or Elliot believe that y'all can produce. Everything I know I can produce right now.
Well,
nothing that you believe
that's the difference in the power and energy.
But that means you would have to study every aspect of your life based on what you're stating.
I'm in constant study, Elliot. Elliot, you're right. Elliot, you are absolutely right. I am in constant study, brother. That is godly. That's godly.
You can't study every aspect of things
that we do.
Well, you're talking about what I can't do. I would have to believe you.
No, listen. You don't.
You're talking about what I can't do. I would have to believe you, Elliot. Elliot, I don't believe you. I like you, Elliot. I don't believe you. You understand me? Elliot, I don't believe a thing you saying. I study you, Elliot. I met you today. I'm studying you right now. I don't believe a thing you talking about. Elliot, you might as well be the CIA as far as I'm concerned. I'm studying you. You understand me? I don't believe you, Elliot. I don't.
But
not me.
Not me. You could get it right or wrong. So now you can get a wrong belief based on your interpretation of what you think you're studying, what you think you're getting right or wrong.
Take the word belief out, Elliot. Stop using that word belief. Stop using that word
All
belief
right.
and we'll have a conversation. Stop using that word. Because that's where we're getting on the wrong. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not a believer, and you keep using belief to try to articulate something I'm saying. No, 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 no.
But can
I
I say this,
study
Dom?
until I know. I study. Put it on a T-shirt. I study until I know. I'm not a believer. I study until I
what do you,
know.
The
so what do you
word
do, what do
believe
you do
means
when you
be
go
lie.
when you go get a job and they say, all right, we're gonna pay
I don't
you,
work for other men, Elliot.
or even if you barter, if you have a situation or arrangement with someone and they say, all right, based on the work that you're going to do, I'm going to give you this. You're going to do the work before you even receive what they're offering, right? Because
So-
you're believing or have faith in what they're going to do. The consideration is there. So we could, you could use all types of, words.
It breaks down to a philosophical. It breaks down to a life philosophy. And what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't work for men, so I'm not even in that scenario, my nigga.
Listen, man, that word believe is a spell, though.
I don't know
It's
what to tell you.
spell
Like
word.
that scenario
It's a
that
spell.
you brought out, I don't even do. I'm not. That's not a part of my cipher. So
Hey.
that's what I'm trying to tell you. My orbit is not of such. That is not my orbit. Working for men, asking them, when I can get paid for. That's not my orbit. And so when that is your orbit, you speak that language. You are a believer. I am not a believer. I study until I know.
I said so. So going through life, working, exchanging goods and services, right? You're doing business with someone else, right?
And we're going to exchange that right now. What you talking
So
about?
it's another man that's.
I need that painting, and I got something for you. I need that painting right now, and I'm sending it to you. You sending me the painting right now. I'm like, there's no waiting. There's no, I believe you're gonna send it next week. No, it's right now, dog. Or it ain't happening. Or holler at me when it can
Elliot,
happen. What you mean?
You're using a word that you shouldn't use, dude. You understand? You're using a word.
I think y'all
that has
jumping
no
out there.
positive concept.
Hey, Elliot,
No,
I've
it's
had this
not. The
argument
word
with him
believe
before.
is not supposed to be used.
So what other word to use instead of belief then?
You can't use that word
What
because
other
the
word
belief
to use
is not a
besides
fact. It's
belief
not
then?
knowing.
It's not a
What
fact,
other
bro.
word to use? We never know.
It's
If
a
I put-
it's a
So
spell.
hold
It's a
on,
word
hold
of
on. So if
spells.
I
You
put,
shouldn't use that word.
hold on. So if I put this painting in the mail, you sent me a cash app, right? FedEx is supposed to deliver the painting to you. So what word are you going to use before you receive the painting? You anticipate?
You just
hope?
use the word.
No,
You
it's just
you,
coming.
but
There's
what's
no
funny
hope.
is you answering your own
it's
question.
coming.
I'm asking, what word would you
There's
use?
a ton of words you
You
can
know.
use outside of the word
So
belief.
what
I
word?
anticipate. That's a good word.
So I anticipate that the painting will arrive, but if the painting does not arrive,
Then I anticipate a refund.
but if the refund doesn't come because I
Then
didn't get what
somebody
I'm
might
supposed to do,
anticipate an ass kicking. That's life. What are we talking about? What are we doing?
but it's semantics. It's just a word, but it's
It's
the
a
same.
word. I keep on trying to
But
tell you
words
it's a
have
word that
meaning.
you're using.
Words
It's a
have
word.
meaning,
The
brother.
words have meaning.
Words have meaning,
That's
brother.
the word.
Hey, even more so, Elliot.
In
Even
a
more
sense.
so than words having meaning. Let me say this to you: all words are spells. Hallelujah. All
Elliot, I've
words
had
are
this.
spells.
Elliot
I've had
doesn't
this
know
circle.
that, man. That's why I
I've
keep
went
on
around in
saying
this
that.
circle with him. I've went around in this circle with him about the word belief, and I agree with you. And here's
We
what
in
I
the
would say
age
to
of
that.
knowing.
Here's what I would say to that. It's not a problem of what you believe, what words you use. The problem comes in there when I demand that you believe and follow what I say. So when you can come to an agreement, I'm not going to use the word like Elliot just used the word anticipate.
Right.
He pivoted and said, let's use the word anticipate.
Yeah.
So you'll have some people that's going to sit up there and say, listen, you're going to use this word belief, or we're gonna have to throw the hands right now.
Yeah.
So that's where this whole thing scales up. When you scale it up, and you're talking about Israel,
You
and
talking about
Gaza,
mind control, huh, Kenny? You
or
talking
you're
about mind
talking about
control?
Ukraine and Russia, or you could be talking Tonga in Polynesia. I don't know. It just seems to be war everywhere, and a lot of it falls down to this is what I follow. This is what I believe. This is what I anticipate.
That's culture. And so you're trying to merge cultures that creates conflict and confusion.
True indeed.
Words do matter, and certain cultures may gravitate to certain words.
For sure. For
From the
sure.
South.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that.
In the South, there's a ton of believers where I live in the South.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you try to change the narrative and try to tell this group of individuals that that's wrong, you're gonna have problems.
Sure. I agree. I agree.
And that's where the problem comes in.
You're not gonna really have the problem. They're gonna have the problem of them not going inside. And people thinking outside, and not, yeah, dude, it's all about people doing inside work. It's not the outside work. You got the inside work.
Culturally, you can't say that if a culture have existed a particular way for so long, what would make them change based on an outsider's opinion?
They're gonna be left behind, though. Yes, you're right, but they're gonna be left behind.
Well, Elliot, you make a great point. Elliot, you make a great point.
If a culture have existed a particular way for so long, what will make them change the way that they have existed based on the outsiders' information?
Listen, Hassan, I don't think Elliot's making a bad point. I think Elliot's making a great point.
He's making a good point. Isn't that just what happened to slavery? This is what happened. They start believing in their way of life.
Listen,
right?
Hassan, you have it going on right now in this country that we all live in. You have folk that are still as mentally enslaved as they were physically enslaved right now. And then you have other melanated folk that are on a level where they might as well be walking through a wormhole. So you know that we have folk right now, let alone anywhere else in the world or in history, that are left behind spiritually and mentally because they can't rise to that level. They've been indoctrinated. And a part of the culture is ignorance. A big part of a lot of cultures is ignorance because folks that are behind the scenes with the hidden hand would prefer y'all to be dumb fucks. Facts.
Not having knowledge of self is really
not having knowledge of self. That's what I'm trying to say. Elliot, I'm not going at you, Elliot. I'm just saying that when I tell you that I don't work for another man, you see, that's knowledge of self-based. Don't nobody in control in the hidden hand want you to have knowledge of self and have your own business and be doing your own thing. They want you to work for them. That's facts. So that's what I mean about it's a whole mindset about me. I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about the rest of the world. And I don't have no religion for nobody to go to. So I'm just telling you, for me, it's a knowledge of self thing. I'm not a believer in anything. I study until I know. And I know very little, just so you know. I know very, very little. But what I do know is solid. I know I can stand up right now. I know that. I know I'm speaking these words right now. Very small things, but I know small things. I'm studying the rest. That's what I'm here to do. What do you think we're here for? That's what we're here to. We're explore human beings and every other being. What do you see little ants doing? Ants are roaming around. What do you think we're doing? Everyone's here exploring. That is what God is. It's an exploration of self. Hallelujah. Amen. Ra.
But the thing about, I agree with what you're saying, but ants really aren't exploring. They have purposes.
When's the last time you had a conversation?
They have a purpose in life, and they don't.
When's the last time you had a conversation with an ant?
Huh?
When's the last time you had a fluid conversation with an ant?
It's not about a conversation.
When you're going to give me a dissertation about another species that you haven't spoken directly to, I'm going to need some more evidence than just what you're thinking. Because guess what? They got thoughts about us too.
So if you look at ants, and I'll just use this as an example, they have a purpose. They're driven for purpose. They're not just one ant rambling and roaming and this, that, and the third. They're on a mission. They have a straight line purpose.
No, that I'm going to disagree with that. I don't disagree with that per se. I don't disagree with that.
And so it's like we're free thinkers. We could think for ourselves. Some people.
But Elliot, as is above, so is below. If you look at us from 30,000 feet above, and you could barely see us, let's say 10,000 feet above, we start to look a lot like the ant colony, Elliot. When you look at our freeways and you talk about a straight line, you just talked about the ants going a straight line. If someone not from our civilization just happened upon our civilization, the ant colony and the human colony look very similar.
A lot of similarities, absolutely. No disagreement right there. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's purposes. We all have a purpose. You have a purpose to deviate from the ebb and flow of what everybody else
I
does.
don't disagree with that. I agree with that. I listen, that, and that's God. You know, for me, the definition of God is all things. You know, all things, all is mind. God is mind, and God is all things. Like God, for me, just for me, again, God is not a man somewhere with a penis and arms and legs. That's
So
like very ridiculous to me.
You
right?
saw it necessary at a point in your life to where it's like, you know what? I have enough confidence in my intellect where I can march to the beat of my own drum and figure things out for myself, as opposed to following the ebb and flow of everybody
That
else.
happened around 16 when I told my mother and stepdad that I wasn't Christian and I wasn't going to church that day. And I wouldn't be going to church anymore because I'm not a Christian, and I don't see why I would need to sit through this sermon every week when this ain't what I am.
So that's your purpose for your life. That's your
Well, sure.
purpose.
Listen. That's God. Everything, each direction is God. We're all God. You're God. Period. Kenny's God. He don't want to be, but he's God too.
Well, you know, like I said, I don't subscribe to needing to call myself God. I think
I respect you as God. Let's just put it that way. That's okay, right? I can respect you as God, right? That's
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Huh.
So that every
Kenny, where are you from, Kenny?
I'm in Philly.
So you're born and raised in Philly?
Yeah.
So your grandparents, South Carolina, something like that?
I'd say, yeah, something like that. North Carolina, Georgia, somewhere in there.
So when you used to travel down that way during the summers and things of that nature, you saw different cultures, right?
Without a doubt.
So imagine trying to influence them and say your culture is wrong and incorrect. How do you think that would have fared with them?
I got called a proper talking bitch.
Don't go to church every Sunday. Don't praise
from the north.
Hey, listen, when I used to go down to Raleigh North, it like you said, it was a different culture. We did different things. And from the word hello, they know you different. And they do different things. They talk different. They react the way
different
differently.
Different culture.
So can you say they're wrong or right? Or do you just have to
say they're wrong or right? What I can say, again, all I can say is that's the way you do things, or that's the way they did things.
But when things, all right, guys, let me kind of like take this to a point. When things in your culture overlap and need to be into my culture, meaning, again, I like that painting in Elliot's space right there. If I need to go and take his painting and occupy his house and tell him to get out, that means my culture is overlapping on his very.
Well, hold on, Dom, and that's where I say the problem coming at. You're saying I need to go in and take it, and I think that's where man's base nature keep going. Right. Instead of you saying, "Hey, what can I do?" or what is it that maybe you might want that I can get that painting that if you want.
But we're talking about a culture, Elliot, to answer your question. We're talking about a culture of violence. The people I'm talking about, let me just be clear. Let me be clear. The people I'm talking about have a culture of violence. That's why I mentioned that all of our lives, Kenny, there's been wars going on. We didn't start them. I didn't start the wars, Kenny. You didn't start the war. A particular culture has started wars my entire life. When are we going to identify them and eradicate? That's really the situation. It's like they're talking crazy about people that they occupied their land. You went and occupied somebody else's land, and now you're bombing them because they're tired of being treated like an open-air prison. Are you serious?
Now,
and we've done the same thing in this country.
But let me ask you this. Is it really the culture or the powers that be that is influenced the culture they're propagating this narrative, but only the powers that be, the elitists, they benefit because they indoctrinated the culture to believe this. And so
I think the powers are the culture. The powers are who I'm talking about.
Let me finish. So the person that's at the bottom of the barrel that's scraping and scrapping, just like the guy in Mississippi, in the Delta, Mississippi, he's looking like, hell, I don't have anything. I'm not involved in this culture. I mean, the powers that be is not benefiting me. But as a group, I'm succumbing to what people are trying to say I am, but I'm not. I'm struggling. I'm worried about
Can I
my next
jump in there,
meal. I'm
Tom?
worried about my next
Of course.
opportunity, whatever the case. I'm not thinking about what the powers that be are
There's
doing.
something about selective that's
Well-
coming to my mind, but go ahead.
Well, to run with what you're saying, Elliot, I think like kind of what we talked about at the beginning when you asked why are they rioting in Philly, it's almost the same thing where
The haves and the have-nots.
the people in that Gaza Strip, like Dom said, if you got me in what seems like an open air prison, to even get out of there, they got to show papers and people have to tell you where you can go. Okay, you can't go here today. So
that's the very thing that they said that they were escaping from Nazi Germany. Do you see the hypocrisy?
Exactly. So you're going to have people buck against that system that Israel has created. So Palestine is bucking against that system that Israel might think is right, but as a Palestinian, you're saying, hell no, I'm not going with this. Why do I have to tell you where am I going? Why do I have to be subjugated to your thoughts and your whims?
And your beliefs. And your beliefs.
So isn't that human nature? It doesn't matter where you are. Every man is going to respond the exact same goddamn way.
And that's exactly what would happen. But when it do happen, that's when you're going to see the news agencies that's been told, hey, listen, I need you to slant this story this way or that. So it keeps going around. It's going to, again, like I said, it's going to essentially die down or kind of move back to a center, and then it'll happen again. How do
you extinguish a rogue power? I'm very serious. We're four melanated men, and we're not all a monolith. Hold on, we're not all a monolith. Kenny doesn't think like me. Elliot doesn't think like Hassan per se. I don't think like Hassan. Hassan don't think like nobody. So we're not a monolith, right? How though do thinking beings extinguish a force that we know has been destructive since we've been born? Like, what are we doing here, man? At what point does somebody actually say the words? Because there's a destructive force.
It comes down to two things. You like you said, as thinking people, you try to say, hey, listen, can't we come to an agreement peacefully? And if not, then
didn't Martin Luther King walk around here peacefully? What happened to him?
Hold on. What I'm saying is you ask peacefully or whatever, and then
we did that.
I've asked you, you ain't hear what I said. It's almost like
it's all going to be tied to resources. How do you exchange resources and goods equally and fairly? And if we're
there's no such thing as fairly in a corporate system.
Say it again, Hassan.
There's no such thing as fairness in the corporate system.
Listen to what I'm saying, though. It's all about the system that we are in. The system that we're in is always going to be conflict because it's not based on fairness. It's the haves and the have-nots. And so it's never going to end. It would never, ever, ever, ever end.
Until you stop participating in the system by supporting the corporations. That keeps on the racism and all that stuff. You have to stop spending money.
We live in and the country.
You have to stop spending money. It doesn't matter.
Not going to happen, Hassan.
Yes, it will. It will happen. If people have more dignity in themselves, it will happen. That's the only way. That's the only way of it to end, though.
Stop spending money.
It doesn't. That's the only way for the corporate system to end is people stop spending money. That's the only way.
Well, you don't see an end to it. I know. Well, let me ask Elliot because I find it interesting. Elliot, you don't see an end to this madness ever.
Not in America.
Not anywhere.
This is the system that we created, and who is we?
You just said that.
I said as long as they are pushing capitalism, a capitalistic society, you have to have the haves and the have-not. You have to have a
and you are the have-not. You as the so-called black person, you're the have-not. by you putting
We're
yourself in the
designated
color.
as the bottom class. That's just the way
That's a so-called bottom class, but it's not if you understand that you have powers in your money and your finances by supporting them.
But Hassan,
That's the
here's
only way
the
it's
thing.
gonna win. The
But
more you
Hassan,
participate, the more you
listen,
become
but listen,
enslaved in the stuff.
Hassan, I understand what you're saying. I may understand it, but as long as you have the public school system, as long as you have the taxes paying for schools and we indoctrinate our children in this school system, yada yada yada, it's going to continue to be perpetual.
So that means there's no end for you. Then you're gonna continue being the loop, right?
It ain't
That's
me.
what you're saying.
It's just the society that we live in. It will not change in America. You got to compete to get to the top. Once you're at the top, you're gonna work hard to maintain your position of power, to keep everybody.
Because you have a vested interest at that point.
Huh?
Because you have a vested interest at that point.
Absolutely. That's the system we live in. That's our system of government.
So that means the only way that we'll get back our country, we have to leave. That's what you're saying.
Or you have to overthrow the government and create a different system.
But you understand that's what's going on right now. The Caucasians' power has ended 6,000 years. Is actually 2024, and their reign is over. The Canaanites' power, the bloodline of the Canaanites. That's why they're having all these wars and stuff. Because I understand that, but that's what's going on right now. The fall of Rome, the wars and stuff. The fall of the Khazarians. That's why they're trying to get all this money. I understand that. But everything is biblical.
What'd you say, Elliot?
I'm just a common sense guy. Until you change the way we can provide for our families, if it's through bartering, I raise chickens, you raise cows.
But you said you're gonna be a part of the system, regardless, because this is how the system. I said the way that you beat the system is stop putting their money.
Hassan, listen to what I'm saying. I wasn't raised raising chickens and cows. I don't know that. In order for me to make it better for my children, I have to teach them that, something I was ignorant to. So I have to maintain a way of surviving.
Hey, can you cut that TV off? Is there a TV going on somewhere? It's like some background noise or something.
So I'm gonna have to maintain my way of surviving because this is what I know. But if I know better, you reach and teach your children better so they don't have to go through the bullshit that you may have went through. So if you're not teaching your children a different way, then you're perpetuating the cycle.
But you just said, I understand that 100%, but you just said that you're a simple man. And a simple man is not going to seek knowledge to provide that.
At 46 years old, I have to make a decision. Do I say forego everything I've accomplished or whatever the case and go buy a farm and learn how to raise chickens and cows and live off the land? Or do I invest my money into buying property and land and setting my children up to where they don't have to go through the bullshit that I went through? So they can maintain a level of normalcy to where they can raise their own chickens and cows or whatever and live off the land. So I have to make a sacrifice in a sense. So what are we gonna do? It's like, what are we gonna do? We've been indoctrinated a particular way. We have to survive. We have to live. So if this,
I already just said what would have to be done. I told you what would have to be done for us to have self-worth. It's to stop supporting the corporations. That's the only way.
You can raise chickens and cows, but if you don't have a community of people to barter with, then what are you gonna do?
You can get that as people. You can get all that because melanated people don't want to support each other and stuff. They just don't have the mindset.
You don't have a community set up for that.
You can do some people do already, man. Some people do.
Some people, but I'm saying a community.
That's where it starts.
Collective group.
That's where it starts, man. It has to start. It has to start with just enough people. You don't need everybody to agree with you. You just have enough to have power.
So Kenny, we locked in. I'm listening. Kenny, I'm listening to Hassan and Elliot. Like we locked in, Ken. It's been 500 years. Everybody got social security number now. You know what I mean? Everybody got car payments and you know what I mean. Like we locked in. Like Elliot said. What you gonna do?
What I'm hearing and I'm hearing what Hassan's saying. I'm hearing what Elliot's saying. And the reality of it is, even if every one of us decided, okay, we're gonna not deal with some of these corporations, in some way you are going to end up dealing with them corporations anyway, because unless they just get zapped off the planet, you're still going to have to deal with whether you're talking about
Water
their
bill,
power companies or something
electricity.
like that.
Absolutely. 100%.
So that's when, Elliot, you weren't here for that show where I said everyone has their own
Selective conformity.
selective conformity. We're
That's
going
a Kenny
you're
Mickens.
going to conform somewhere. You know, you try to minimize what you're doing, and you know certain things benefit certain people against you, but unfortunately, we, like he said, we have been ingrained, and it's hard to pull all this out of your system unless you
Yes.
just move to a completely and some island or something away from everything. You're somewhere there. You're gonna conform somewhere in there, whether it be I'm in a, you might be in California, but man, it got a little chilly tonight. Let me turn on this heat.
Right.
Do you own them power companies?
Right.
Let me bring that fresh water to grow that fruit. That you got companies that you got what's the water departments that have reservoirs that clean water and things like that. So unless you're gonna go and completely start over, away from all that, somewhere in there you're gonna conform
100%.
to some piece of this society and give them some piece of your money.
100%.
So you have to really start. You have to go to your own spot, and that's and here's the rub on that. Let's say you get there. Who's to say this spot been sitting here empty? Somebody might be there. So now you come in and say, "I want this," and now you're
coming and doing Israel. You coming and doing Israel, 1947.
You come in and now you're Israel. So you really, it's really not an easy thing to just say, I'm just going to get all away from it, or I'm going to start this and I'm going to, so
live off the goddamn grid.
Even off the grid.
Well, gentlemen, listen, I mean, Hassan.
Yes, sir.
I think we're done. I mean, we're doomed. I mean, you better have knowledge of self, because that's all you're gonna have. Because this seems like an open air prison that we're all in. Palestine just seems to be a metaphor for the planet. Quite frankly, the capitalism has the hold on the planet, like Israel has a hold on Palestine. You understand me? Like, that's what's popping, and the capitalism is, quite frankly, very connected to Israel, is it not? Let's not play games, huh? How many games we got to play?
I wouldn't even put it that just Israel. Capitalism is ingrained in every sector. Unfortunately, like you said, when you look at it, it's an open air prison. I mean, you might say, I'm not going to deal with this company or this,
but you're going to deal with that company.
And you're gonna go over here to this company or this state, and that capitalism, that
lifestyle. Man, don't fall asleep on us, bro. Wake up, man. Come on, man. Don't be disrespectful to the audience. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody trying to look at you like you dead. You understand me? Open your eyes,
I got
brother.
my picture up because I'm laying away.
Well, you all right, Kenny. You all right, Kenny. This guy's got a live picture of him being asleep.
Game, Mister, that's not true.
Right.
I need you to deny this stuff.
Right. Hassan, give us some closing remarks, man. I mean, my thing to you is, this thing seems doomed to me, bro. It's like Elliot and Kenny make some valid points about the state of affairs. Nothing that I'm not aware of, and that you're not aware of, but the points are valid, and so it seems very doomed.
It's doomed.
It seems like the aliens. It seems like the aliens and their spaceships and their warships and their guns and whatnot have won. I said the aliens.
Yep. Basically, if there's no change, then they won. So what's the point?
There's not that they won. You have to continue fighting and carve out your piece.
What are you fighting though? Because if corporations is about keeping people enslaved, then what are you fighting? You still watching football and stuff and doing all that stuff. You're adding to the stuff. You have to change the way you think and stuff.
Well, everybody have their conformity. I mean,
I understood what you said there, but I'm just saying
100%.
that I understood that. So I'm just saying, I'm just telling you those are the solutions because it's all about money. And
I would agree with Hassan that if the world wanted to make a play on change, it would be ignoring the corporations. It would be stopping, but I get it. We need utilities. We need electricity.
I think
we're ignorant and lazy because we could actually go back and revert back to how things were prior to corporate takeover, where we lived off the fruit of our labor and off the fruit of the land.
Don't nobody want to work.
That's we're lazy and ignorant. We don't know how to do it.
Lazy and greedy. A bad combination. Lazy and greedy.
It's not that. It's enslaved, man. We are enslaved in the mind where we don't search for knowledge itself and we don't do the work inside to know that we're gods.
I agree with that.
By us limiting ourselves, we're limited by what we are able to do, and we don't go to our highest consciousness because of this mind control.
Elliot,
and this 3D matrix that we live in.
Elliot, give me some last words on World War 27.
Shit.
Man, I'm not. It's beyond my pay grade right now.
If it kicks off, where are you going to be? What you going to do? If it kicks off, you going to be juking?
My philosophy of life is this here. Think about this. I live a simple life. I make sure I'm in great health and conditioning because as long as I can outrun that person, I'm good.
That's a thing.
That's the thing.
As long as I can beat the next man, I'm good.
No, that's the thing. Because look, the thing, the science on that is 10 niggas running. If you the fucking 10th nigga, you getting shot. You see what I'm saying? I'm first and second and third. You understand?
If I got to do
really, Dom, you first, second, and third.
Look here.
Is that what you doing?
Hey, Dom.
What you doing?
If
you know why I'm first, second, and third? You know why I'm gonna be first, second, and third this time? Because I'm gonna put this gun to your head and have you rob me. You understand me? I'm gonna put this gun to your head.
I just gotta beat the other 9 motherfuckers. I'm good.
That's all. That's all. Hassan saying I couldn't make it. That's okay.
You said you got to be a 1, 2, and 3. I'm like,
I'm gonna make sure one of y'all fast niggas. I'm gonna make sure you got me covered.
Hey,
when it done,
you got me messed up, Hassan. Yeah, you gonna get it.
Dom, I'm gonna be 1.
I ain't mad at you.
To be 1 every goddamn day.
Kenny, they talking crap about us. You see this? You see these healthy cats?
Here's all I can say: keep the fight. Conform as little as possible.
Okay.
Right.
And just and as far as World War 19, there's going to be World War 20. There's going to be actual wars. You might not follow what the Bible says, but it been told you years ago. It's going to be
wars and rumors of wars.
It's going to be wars and rumors of wars. Has that not been so? Like you said, in your lifetime, there's always been the rumor.
My entire life.
The rumor my entire life. It was the rumor of Russia. That was that rumor of wars. There was actual wars. There were skirmishes, and so there's always going to be that as long as we have the nature that we have. And I'm talking men. Period. I'm talking humanity.
And
as long as humanity is the way it is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's going to be. I need yours.
Yo,
I don't care nothing about your culture. I need yours. That's the nature. And again, the nature of the beast.
And again, my culture is one that takes over other cultures. Let's not pretend like we don't know what the fuck that is. Like there is a culture here on this earth that likes to grab other cultures. Like, am I lying? And then what they like to do is they like to take your words, and your little moves and whatnot, and all of a sudden it's on TV. Wait a minute, that was in the hood. Now that's on a Target commercial? That's what's up? Is on a Target commercial? Huh? We are on a system that likes to grab and amalgamate itself into everything it comes into contact with. That is like a virus. That is like an invasion. Elliot,
it is.
Elliot, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
Man, in Memphis, Tennessee, baby.
Yeah, juking.
That's one thing, coming out of Memphis, I used to tell people, you're either going to be in the streets, play ball,
Yeah.
dance,
Yeah.
or being banned.
Okay. And I would have probably been in a few of those. Yeah, that's what's up. Well, yo, man, it was great having you on the show this week. We welcome you to come back anytime that you're free. Kenny,
I appreciate it. I appreciate
say word. Kenny, tell them where they can find you, man.
Look for me on a few of the social medias or Trying to See the World.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do.
And that's what's kind of tripping me up right now, too, about this whole stuff, Kenny. I wanted to take a trip to
Jerusalem?
Kemet next year. And it's like, please don't mess this up with this agenda stuff. Please, I need to see the pyramids. That's on my bucket list. You understand?
Go see the pyramids, man. Go see the pyramids.
I know you done seen them, but you got to go before the conflict.
Now, let me ask a question. Now, when you just made that statement, right? Is that a belief? Please don't.
What a belief.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying.
Hold on. Wrap him up, Dom, and then we do our thing.
No doubt.
Off air.
So who's the please don't mess them up? Who you saying please to don't mess this up?
To the rest of God that I'm a part of.
Okay. I'm just inquiring.
No doubt. Listen, I love the questions because the question is the answer. Oh, I wrote a book called that, by the way. You can catch that on Amazon. The question is the answer by Dominique Quinn Superstar. But I love the question, bro. So just know that.
So
I don't get
say that it's not going to be messed up. Are you believing and hoping that it's not messed up so you can go scratch that off your bucket list?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm meditating, and because I'm a part of God, I am willing that situation to go away. You see, some of us know what will is. Ooh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. Some of us are travelers. Oh, what am I talking about? Anyway, the point is, I'm willing for that scenario to work in my favor. Hallelujah. And that's what I do every day. I don't believe nothing. Like, I keep telling you, you see, when you talk about semantics and the words, well, number one, I am a writer. So you should know that. Like, I've this chick called English. Oh my God, I have romanced her and done her. You understand me? I got her. So words do have meaning, though. And if I'm going to use these words that I didn't create, I'm going to use them correctly. And because I also, on a spiritual level, know that they are spells. When I speak, you hear me. Whether you agree or not is one thing, but you still hear the spell I'm casting, when I'm trying to get you to know. You still hear it. It's still affecting you. It's still a spell. Everything we say to another person is a spell.
I agree.
Yeah, now, man.
As far as a spell, I have to think about that, but
think about it.
To use, they do impact outcomes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So again, I am willing, and I'm meditating on the idea that that's going to be rectified by next summer when I'm supposed to go to Kemet, better known as Egypt. All right. Shout out to my business partner. Hey, yo,
anticipating.
Yeah, I'm anticipating. Kenny is so good. Kenny's so good. Kenny know how to do it. I am anticipating, yo. Look, let's get out of here. Hassan,
I enjoyed y'all, brothers, man.
Hey, man, we enjoyed you too. And like I said, we want you back. Hassan unchecked out. I just want to say, check out his website. We live, we love, we juice. WeJuice.com, where you can get the freshest of juices from Hassan McCullough. Y'all know about those juices. So go down to WeJuice.com and order as many as you can.
Now you got to spell it out for him. You got because he be looking for WE.
OUI juice.com. OUI juice. You understand me? Yo, once again, fellas.
It's French.
It's French. It's French. Yo, it's been a good one. We'll see y'all again next week.
No doubt.
So
no
then,
doubt. All right.
Wait. He's coming back. Wait. Let's let him. He's coming back. Let's let him give his shout out. Let him give his own joint before we get out of here. Real quick. Hassan, can you hear us?
I'm gonna be out in LA. I'm gonna be out in LA next month.
Nice one, man. Nice one. We got a link. Hassan, hey, tell them where they can find you, man. We wrapping the show up. Tell them where they can find that weed juice, bro.
Shit. Weed juice. We live, we love, we juice. Cold
that's some different packaging.
Juice.
What is that?
All about Well, this is my. This
That's
is
the
my
fire.
Oh, that's fine. That's nice. Good stuff.
You know, this is my flyer, right there.
Yeah, dope. Oh, dope. That's
You
dope.
know.
I was cutting some fruit
Yeah,
up
man.
earlier, Hassan.
All right.
Some peaches and pineapples and plums. I gotta grab me some melon.
That is your hydration. Is the fruit. Eat as much fruit as you can. That is your hydration.
Ken, are you still
So
in
get
Philly?
melanin.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right. I was just out there, North Broadway, Cheltenham.
Oh, you was up what
North.
we call
West
the
Oak Lane.
West Oak Lane, the high class.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said the high
That's kind
class.
of like third home to me. You know, I'm up there, quite often.
Nice one.
Oh yeah.
Well, yo, we getting out of here. We'll see
doubt.
Elliot again. We'll see Kendall
I know
Mickens
that.
again.
I
And we
appreciate
also
y'all.
will see Hassan
Hey,
again.
good brother, come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
until then,
Peace.